I still remember the weight of that small gift back in my hand. How late it felt compared to the storm it was about the nation may live. It was supposed to be a surprise, nothing fancy, just a self-facilitated picked up during a work trip, something simple that said, I was thinking about you. I had told my wife I was coming home early. I wanted to see her first later, to feel like a husband again instead of a man permanently stuck on highways, airports, and hotel rooms. I had no idea that by choosing to surprise her, I was actually surprising myself with the truth I'd been avoiding for months. My marriage had always felt fragile. Once, it was solid, warm, predictable in the best way. We had routines, Friday night treka, Sunday morning coffee, small occasions that ended laughter. But over the last year, something had shifted. My wife, Anne, had become distant and set with. No dramatic enough to cues, not obvious enough to confront. She called her phone, laughed less, and always seemed tired in a way sleep couldn't fix. I told myself it was stress. I told myself all marriages go so quite fast. I told myself less because I were easier than that. That day, I came home 2 days earlier than planned. I walked down the street instead of in the driveway, partly because I didn't want her to hear the binge, partly because I wanted the moment to be perfect. I rehearsed what I'd say as I opened the front door, kicked back rustling softly. The house looked normal from the outside, curtains are on, porch light off, nothing out of place. I smiled, thinking about how shocked she'd be to see me stand there. The front door was locked, which wasn't unusual. I unlocked it quietly and stood inside. The house smelled different. Not bad, just unfamiliar. A mix of cologne and something sharper, something that did belong to me. I thought for a second, maybe I'm trying to rationalize. Maybe a cast. Maybe my imagination. Then I heard it. Laughter. Not the bullet kind, not the kind you share on the phone with a friend, but the soft, intimate kind that comes from comfort. It was coming from upstairs. I remember came the downstairs like my body was on autopilot, my mind lacking behind, desperately trying to catch up. It still felt louder than it should have been. My heart burned so hard I thought it might done at the free throws. I reached the top of the stairs and saw her bedroom door slightly open. That door had always been sacred to me, a brave bus, a shivered world. That day, it felt like a crime scene with a be discovered. I pushed the door open. Time didn't stop, but it shattered. There she was. My wife. My Anne. In her bed. With another man. I didn't scream. I didn't bend shoulders. I didn't collapse. I just stood there, holding that stupid gift back like proof of my own nerves. The man jumped up, scrambled for his clothes, his wide with bang. Anne froze, the color drained from her face as she saw me. Her mouth opened, but no words came out. I realized, in that moment, that whatever explanation she'd rehearsed in her head for some hypothetical future confrontation had prepared her for this. What is this? I asked, my face strangely calm. Too calm. She started crying immediately. Apologies about that, confused, overlapping, desperate. She said it wasn't what it looked like, which almost made me laugh. She said it just happened, which somehow made it worse. The man tried to speak, tried to explain himself, but I held up a hand and said him with a teeth looking in his direction. He didn't matter. Not really. He was just the symptom. The disease was standing in front of me, where my wife's face. I dropped the cuff back on the floor. The bracelets built out, catching the light for a brief, mocking second. And so it broke door harder. That was when it hit her, the timing, the intention, the reality of what she'd done. I turned around and walked her. No dramatic X. No funny words. Just sales. The kind of sales that says more than screamers for code. I didn't know where I was going. I caught in my car and drove until the streets burnt together. I parked somewhere unfamiliar and sat there, hands cupped on the steering wheel, started. My phone buzzed endlessly, calls, messages, apologies. I did answer a single. I felt hollow, like something essential had been scooped off me and replaced with. Betrayal doesn't just hurt, it disorients. It makes you question your memory, your judgment, your entire reality. That night, I did sleep. I replayed every conversation, every late night, every excuse they forgive me. They say they're there. I just didn't want to see them. By morning, the shock had settled into something colder and sober. Clarity. I realized I had two choices, confront this I don't let it destroy me quickly. I wasn't ready to forgive. I wasn't ready to explode. But I was ready to understand the full truth. Over the next few days, I stayed away from the house. I checked into a cheap hotel and found coffee and unanswered questions. Anne kept calling. When I finally answered, her face was small, broke. She begged me to come home so we could talk. I agreed, but not because I believed her. I agreed because I need answers, and because a part of me, darker and more determined than I did for now, wanted the control of the narrative. When I returned home, the house felt different. I empty. Exposed. She sat at the kitchen table like a child would not be scolded. She confessed more than I expected. The differ had been a one-time mistake. It had been going on for months. Lace stacked on top of lace, hidden blessé. The freaking fish felt like another cat, but I listened, memories of freeze. Not for revenge, at least that's what I told myself, but for closure. But closure never comes the way you expect. As the days pass, I realized something unsettled. The burden was transformed. It wasn't fading, it was focus. I began to see my mirror clearly for the first time, stripped of look. I wasn't just hurt. I was angry. And beneath that anger was a resolve I'd never felt before. I didn't know exactly what I would do next. I only knew that the man who walked into that house with a knife was called forever. And this was only the beginning. The days after her confession moved slowly, like time itself was punishing me. Every room in the house felt haunted by memories I could trace. The couch where we once watched movies. The kitchen where we planned for caches with الفرتك. If the bedroom felt like it no longer belonged to me. I slept on the couch, stared at the ceiling, listened to Tankei behind a closed door. Her tears no longer moved me. They felt lay. Too lay. I began noticing things I had ignored before. Receipts that didn't make sense. Cabs in her stories. Said words that lasted hours. I did confront her anymore, I observed. Ben has a strange way of sharpening your instincts. I wasn't looking for revenge at first. I was looking for certainty. I needed to know exactly who I had been married to these years. When I found William was in the shower, her foot upon the kitchen counter. I had checked it before. Both of me thought doing so would make me just as guilty as her. But betrayal changes the rules. I picked it up. There was no look. Just message after message, months of lazy data implantations. I saw the jokes, the plans, the intimacy that was supposed to belong to me. The man wasn't a stranger. He was someone I know. Someone who had shaken my hand in my own home. That was the moment something said me finally snapped into place. No trilogy. Not fails. Resolve. I took screenshots of referees. Dates. Conversations. Photos. Proof. I wasn't sure why I was doing it yet, but instinct told me I'd need it. When Anne came out of the chair, wrapped around her like nothing had changed, I looked at her and realized I didn't recognize her anymore. The woman I left existed only in memory. Over the next few weeks, I played a role. I acted coy, thoughtful. I told her I need time. She mistook myself for forgiveness. She tried to be affectionate, attentive, apologetic. But it was too bullshit, too rushed. Trust doesn't regenerate on command. Once it's gone, everything feels dead. During that time, I focused on myself. I met with a lawyer. Not to punish her, but to protect myself. I opened a celebrity account. I documented access. I learned the truth about my race. Knowledge gave me power, and power gave me peace. For the first time since that day on the stairs, I felt steady. Eventually, I confronted her, not with anger, but with facts. I laid a free thought on the table. The messages. The lies. The duration of the defer. She collapsed into tears, asking how I could do this to her. That question stunned me. I realized then that she still didn't fully understand what she'd done. Betrayal was reality for the betrayer too. They became the victim in their own story. I told her I was done. No yelling. No insults. Just a quiet, forced besteltum. I wasn't interested in cancel. I wasn't interested in explanations anymore. The damage was permanent. Some things was broke, can't be repaired without losing their relationship. Our marriage was one of them. The separation was messy, but predictable. Friends that show said. Stories spread. Some people looked at me with pity. Others with curiosity. But something surprising happened, I felt later. The what I'd been carrying for months, maybe years, was gone. I had been loyal to someone who wasn't loyal to me, and walking what felt like a killing of myself. Months later, I ran into her by accident at a grocery store. She looked smaller somehow. Older. We exchanged brief notes. No conversation. No bitterness. Just two strangers who will share a life. I walked away without looking back. I still think about that gift sometimes. The bracelet. How close I came to telephone a life for offer. But I don't regret finding out the truth the way I did. Painful as it was, it served me for most of more years on someone who had already left. If there's one thing this experience taught me, it's this: life requires honesty to survive. Without it, a free release is just performance. And sometimes, the worst surprises are the ones that finally set you free. This isn't just a story about being cheated on. It's a story about waking up. About choosing the dignity over deny. About walking away not because you had someone, but because you finally respect yourself. And that gift I brought home that day. It wasn't meant for her. It was meant for me,